minute and talk about sunscreen. So invariably, every time I post a video about my skincare routine, someone pipes in and says the last step of your skincare routine is supposed to be sunscreen, and it's not generally in mine. That is not always true. So it's true if you use a mineral or a physical sunscreen. I tend to use chemical sunscreens. So with chemical sunscreens, you can apply things on top of them, like moisturizer, and it's cool, as long as that sunscreen has soaked into your skin. Mineral sunscreens sit on top of the skin, and they actually deflect the UV, so you don't want to apply moisturizer on top of mineral sunscreens. So how do you know the difference between the two? Well, typically a mineral sunscreen will say mineral or it'll say physical sunscreen. You can also look at the ingredient label. If it lists titanium dioxide or zinc oxide in there, it is a mineral or physical sunscreen. If it does not list those ingredients, it'll usually have something like I don't even know how to say these, avobenzone or a bunch of other stuff. But if it doesn't list any of those two ingredients, then it's a chemical sunscreen. Chemical sunscreens, they basically work by absorbing the UV and then preventing damage by a chemical reaction. I tend to like chemical sunscreens just because I like the way my makeup goes on better if I'm able to apply moisturizer. I haven't found any mineral sunscreens that I really like. The exception being the Glow Recipe one is a combination mineral and chemical sunscreen, and I've used this a couple times and so far I like it. One thing that I think is the most important, besides wearing it in the first place, is whether you choose a physical or mineral sunscreen or a chemical one, is you want to make sure it's a broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means that it protects against UVA and UVB rays. UVA rays are the ones that cause aging. UVB rays cause cancer. And I'm not a doctor, so double check me on that, but I think that's how it is. Anyhow, so broad spectrum, it will either say broad spectrum, like this one does, or most of your higher end sunscreens will say SPF, which is your UVB, and then PA+++, and that's going to be your UVA protection. These are just a few of my many sunscreens that I have. Like I said, I'm kind of a sunscreen junkie. So if you want any recommendations for sunscreens, especially chemical ones, because those are the ones I have the most experience with, then let me know and I'd be happy to show you some of my favorites.